I'm going to be showing you around a female hostel on University of Ilorin campus. So this is a private hostel and it's for females only. It's not co-ed, not male and female. And I'm going to answer questions that you have or you are curious about at the end of the video. If you find the video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. So this is the hostel. We have our restaurant and the buttery. The buttery is the one that has the pure water and the brooms in front of it. And I'm just leading you down to the reception. This is where the hostel porters stay. Our porters and supervisors are always in front most of the time, some of the time, and they are there. So if you have any questions, you can just walk into a reception of any hostel and just ask them questions. So that place is where we keep our keys. Then we have our common room where visitors stay, and we also have a TV there when people want to watch things like Big Brother Nigeria. But most of the time it's always empty because most people are always on their phones in their rooms. So it's only maybe when it's like very special occasions that people want to use the TV that they come into the common room, or if you have visitors that want to just see you. Depending on the hostel that you want, some hostels have libraries, some don't. So this hostel has a library, and sometimes it's empty, sometimes it's not empty, because we also have tables in our rooms. So most people are more comfortable in their rooms. Then this is like a view from upstairs of the hostel and how it looks like. So it's quite okay. If you have a specific preference for the amount of roommates that you want, ask around and you'll find one, because this hostel has 2 in a room and 4 in a room. Some other hostels have 1, 2, 3, 6, 8, depending on what you want. So some hostels have washing machine, some hostels don't. This hostel does not have a washing machine, so a lot of people wash by themselves and spread. So let's get into the room tour. This is my room. I'm just going to show you how me and my roommates stay. So the first thing that you see when you enter my room is the table, then our beds. Me and my roommates have been together since 300 level, now my 400 level, and I don't think we're not going to be together until we graduate. So we have my wardrobe. Then there are 3 sections. The first section is just where I keep my clothes hanging. Some people like to fold them, some people like to hang them. I hang my clothes. Then cosmetics there. Then that middle section is just my jeans, then my underwear bag, then a few books. Then the last section is just random things. You can see the detergent thing. So this is my bed space. I left a little space behind my bed to just keep things like a grammar, my yoga mats, and a few textbooks that I'm not using. So the table, chair, I think the table is a little bit too high for the chair. So we cannot really use our laptops there. You just write or read. Then that's the view. And this is the sink area. When I first saw the hostel, I was not a big fan of like having the sink outside the toilet. But it makes sense, right? In case somebody's in the toilet or somebody wants to brush or something like that. So that's it. The kitchen, that's my roommate's fridge. Then her gas. Then this is just how the countertop looks like. Then my own gas, plates, sink. Then our cabinets are not, I don't know, I'm not a very big fan of our cabinets. And there's the fact that it's fine, but like we don't have like all these separating boards, because if you had like a separating board, you'd be to just put more things. I mean, I'm not even happy that this thing is under the sink, but you know, just have to manage, because I go to go and complain to them. So this is the kitchen. Then our nylons, we like to put nylons there, like just for random things, and keep in the nylon. Then our bathroom, and this is our bathroom. Then our toilets. So now I'm just giving you a quick overview of what the room looks like without me interrupting. So bathroom, toilet, kitchen, sink, you know how they look like together. Then table, bed, more bed, then just backwards. I don't know why I kept on going back, but see me, cinematographer. Then my nail things, then that's it, Sha. Just a quick overview, like a bird's eye view of the room. So before you click here, I'm just going to answer questions about the hostel, price, how to get one, how to change your room if you want to, visitors, all those kind of questions that you might be curious about. And that's it, Cha. So time for the Q&A. So I've compiled a list of questions and answers that I know that people are going to be curious about. But before I get to them, let me just talk about some general things about these hostels. So this is a female hostel, and it is a private hostel that is on campus. So if you are looking for hostels that are off campus, off the UNILORIN site, then you have to find another video because I don't know anything about them. So these are female hostels, because there are also male hostels on campus, and these are not the school-owned hostels. These are individually owned, private owned hostels. And if you are wondering if they are co-ed hostels, there are no co-ed hostels in UNILORIN, at least on campus. You can find co-ed hostels where there are male and female sharing the hostel, maybe different rooms or same rooms off campus, but not on campus. So if you're looking for co-ed hostels, it is just female and male that we have on campus. So the first question that I have right now is, how do you get a hostel on campus? So you just walk up to a hostel and you ask them, okay, there's space here, and you pay. Most often, like, people take hostels in the beginning of the session. By that time, they are resuming and they are going into hostels that they want. So they just enter a hostel and just ask, like, okay, is there space here? What kind of room do you have? Do you have 2 in a room or 4 in a room? There are also hostels that have 1 in a room, there are 5 in a room, there are 6 in a room, depending on what you want. And I know that there are some male hostels that have 8 in a room. So it depends on the kind of one that you're comfortable with. And you just enter and ask them. That's how you get a hostel. So you pay to them, you transfer to them, and you show them a receipt, and they'll give you your hostel space. So you also have to pay for form, and form is like 2K, 3K, depending on your hostel. And hostel fees range from like 70K to like 200K. I don't think I've ever heard of any hostel at the moment that is collecting more than 200K per session, not per semester, because hostels are per session. And I've not heard of anyone that is more than 200K. I know that last year there were a few hostels that were over 200K, then they reduced it. But with things that are happening now in this country, they might increase it again. But at the moment, like, it's mostly between 70 to 200, and you're able to find the hostel that you like. So there are some things to consider when you're looking for a hostel, like how close is it to your faculty? Is it walkable distance? Does it have some things that you like? Some hostels have a gym, some hostels have libraries, some hostels have other things like that. Some hostels have restaurants and some don't. So if you are looking for a specific thing that you want in your hostel, all of them claim to have 24 hours light and security and backup gen, but things are tough. And you might not find that. Some people might be whining you. You just see a board, okay, this hostel, let's say 24 hours light. They are whining you. This is Nigeria. So just look for specific things that you want. I recommend like a hostel that is very close, or at least even if it's not very close to like your faculty, you should be able to walk it. Time yourself, like walk from your faculty to your hostel just to check the time, so that you'll be able to like time yourself and say, okay, if I'm running late to class, like one day, like, will I have to take 30 minutes to walk? Don't say that because of their kekes on campus, that you think that, okay, whenever I'm running late, whenever it's time for class, I'll just take a keke to my faculty or to my classes. Let me tell you something, kekes, especially when it's rush hour, like 8 o'clock, you hardly ever find keke, unless like you already have like a phone number of a keke guy and you just call him to come and pick you up. But most of the time, like, you are walking it. So you'll be able to like time yourself, like, okay, this hostel that I want to pick now, how close is it to my faculty? Like, is it walkable distance? For example, my former hostel was 5 minutes walk, so I could easily leave my hostel 7:50 if I had a class by 8 o'clock. But the hostel that I'm in right now is like 13 minutes away, and it has a longer time for me to like prepare and everything. So I've already said it before, hostels are per session and not per semester, and they are not per year. So let me just differentiate between the two. So there are 2 semesters in a session, and if the session is for 6 months, you know, sometimes school might decide to rush a session and 6 months and decide, okay, the two semesters are 3 months, and that's the end. So you paid hostel fees in January and the session finishes in August. By September, you're going to pay another hostel fee. And if the session is like very long, maybe there's strike or like COVID for 1 year that we're all at home, the session did not end. So it was like 2 years, and the money that we had paid was still like ongoing. So it's not per year and it's not per semester, it's per session. I hope you understand that. If you don't understand like exactly what I'm saying, you can ask questions in the comments and I will answer them immediately. So can you pay full payment or part payment? If you decide to pay during the holidays or at the ending of one session, like let's say the session is ending August and there's a new session coming in October, if you decide to pay August, you can pay part payment. But by the time you're moving into the hostel, you have to pay complete. So some hostels might not allow that, some hostels might allow part payment, but you cannot sleep in the hostel unless your money is already complete. So some hostels might not allow part payment, some hostels might allow. So ask your hostel supervisors and they'll answer you. So the next question is, how do you get a room and how do you pick a roommate? If you're coming for the first time, most likely you're just going to be given a random room because you don't know anybody. Unless if you know somebody, then the person has already kept space for you and paid down. Because most of the time, most people pay at the ending of the session before the new session because people have places that they like. So they want a particular room and they pay beforehand. So by the time you come, sometimes like if that's the first time that you're coming, you probably just get a random room and a random roommate. But if you have prepared. If you know somebody that has been in UNILORIN since, has like paid for your space, that's how you get a roommate. And if you decide that you like your roommate by that time and you want to continue being their roommate, you guys just agree and just say, okay, next session we're going to be roommates. And you tell the supervisors that, okay, we're writing our names together, like this is going to be our room, and that's it. Next question is, what if you don't like your hostel? Like, can you change your hostel? Not really. You can, but it's not like a very official thing, because hostels will most likely not want to refund you their money unless maybe they have given out a lot of space. Like, let's say the rooms are not enough and they've oversold the room space. That's when they can refund you. But if you just want to change your hostels, they will not refund you your money. You have to go and look for somebody that is willing to buy your bed space. So I am in this hostel and I don't like my room. I just go and look for somebody that is looking for a hostel or just wants my own hostel. And I say, okay, come and pay me my money. And they pay you and you leave. Like, it's up to you that you're selling your bed space. Do you want to sell it less or do you want to sell it equal? Most people sell it equal because other people don't mind paying equal. So the final question is, are visitors allowed into the hostel? Visitors are not allowed to sleep over because squatting is not allowed. So you pay for your hostel, it's only you that is going to be in the room, like you and your roommates, or if you are alone in the room, only you. So visitors are not allowed to sleep over. But if the person is like a sibling or is like somebody that you know personally, maybe the person just came to come and write jam or be post jam and the person doesn't have any place to stay, you can just go and meet the supervisors and say, okay, please, I just want this person to sleep with me for the night or for tonight. And they're going to pay, maybe pay 1K or 500 depending on the hostel, or sometimes more. If it depends on how it's going to be. But most of the time you cannot have a visitor that will just come and stay in a random room or in an empty room, because most of the time like hostels are full and there's no space for visitors like to grab. So the person that is going to come and sleep with is probably just going to be there for like a day, and that's like, you have to beg. You beg for a very long time. Like, you beg the supervisors before they allow your sister or your friend or your cousin to come and sleep on your bed. So they don't allow squatting. So if you have somebody that just says, okay, let me just come and stay with you for a while, like, it's going to be a lot of sneaking around, not very legal. And they'll catch you. If you're there for more than one night, they'll catch you. But we also have a common room. So if you have a visitor that just wants to come and chat with you, or if you're like service-based business, maybe you're doing hairdressing and somebody just wants to come and do their hair, you can do that in the common room, and that's it, yeah. Boys are not allowed into the common room. They used to be allowed, but something happened, I can't remember, and they said boys should not be allowed into the compounds and into the common rooms. So most of the time, if you have like a male person that wants to talk to you, you'll most likely be outside the gate, and sometimes inside the gate, but it's not like a very official thing. So that's all for this video. I hope I answered a lot of questions, because those are the questions that I had before I entered university. Like, I just kept on wanting to see how UNILORIN hostels were, and I just kept on seeing like ones off campus, not the ones on campus. So obviously there are a few more YouTube videos on YouTube on female hostels, especially on campus, but I just decided to like add question and answers in case anybody like asks questions about campus living and hostels and everything. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please check out my other videos and subscribe, please. Until next time.